997, 998, 999, and 1,000. Oof. Oh, hey everybody. Sorry. I was just doing a little bit of training, feeding the guns, because today is a marathon day for me on YouTube. And Trev saw that. I don't know if anybody else did. But regardless, hello everybody out there in YouTube land, Facebook world, wherever you may be watching from. And welcome back to the show, where I may or may not have just a little bit of a snack while you're here. And let's see. In case you didn't know, this is the end point, I guess, of what we're calling the Sunday spread, which is now Coffee and Comics with Madam and Gary B at 7:30 in the morning. Coffee and Cosplay, excuse me, not Coffee and Comics. Then you've got Fanboy Prime doing his morning wake up. There we go. And of course, Brian LCS with Breakfast with Brian. And now you have Last Week Today Live with me, my beautiful wife, and my little guy who is finishing up his breakfast. So you will probably hear little Grogu sounds. And on that note, oh, why don't I do this first? Dark in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Do 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 do. Woman, you want me, so give me a sign. And catch my breath, and catch my breathing even closer. Behind, do 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 do. In touch with the ground, I'm in the hunt. I'm on the hunt. Yeah, I'm after you. Smell like I sound. I'm lost in a crowd, and it's Last Week Tonight Live. Yeah, I cut it short because I messed up enough, and there's not enough coffee that can make my voice sound good, but that's okay. So now that I've gotten that shenanigan out of the way, let's see who is here. Trev, the shipping guru. Trev, I think you got to change your name to Trev, the YouTube guru. Trev has a package on its way to him, not only with his last week tonight. Thank you, honey. Last week tonight winnings from 2-3 weeks ago at this point, probably closer to 3 weeks, but also with his the 200 subscriber giveaway, which he's got some original artwork on his way to him, and of course a little bit of a bonus that him and I discussed. Who else do we have here? Comics by the Bay. Matt, I know you're on your YouTube sabbatical. I miss seeing your stuff, sir. But I'm glad to see that you're enjoying some nice surfing there. I was definitely a little jelly. I have never surfed myself, but the water looked beautiful. Excuse me 1 second. Mr. Durs, the most positive person on YouTube, bar none. Mr. Durs, I might have a little something coming your way soon, but we'll figure that out. Jimmy G and Woof Woof. Hey, everybody. I think everybody here knows Jimmy, but in case you are unfamiliar for some reason, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to do the giveaway at the same time. In case you're unfamiliar for some reason, you have to go sub up Jimmy G. He's had to relaunch his YouTube channel, which I think that many of us may know could be a challenge. And he's slowly rebuilding his channel. So give Jimmy a hand. He also has a eBay store, which I keep forgetting the name of. Jimmy, if you have Instagram, just message it to me because that's the only one I'm going to remember at this point. Because it'd be nice to help support somebody who supports the channel through viewing. Who else do we got here? Mr. Neil, how are you, sir? Neil, you had just missed the morning sing along. I know that you're heartbroken over that. Gary B. out shopping, but had to stop by and say hello and leave a thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Mr. Gary B., comic casual book, the keeper of the cash. I can't speak yet. I was just going to ask Gary if he is out shopping for coffee because he was a little sleepy this morning, and that's fine. And this is my second cup, so I have no reason to be flubbing. Bobby Catalano, hello, Bobby. I just recently subscribed to Bobby's channel. I highly recommend that you do as well. Some great stuff going on there. As I eat and drink on camera, but what you gonna do? So, why don't I just start plugging the giveaway now? We've got only 6 people here, so your chances are pretty good. And in honor of our friend Jimmy G restarting his channel, just do hashtag Jimmy G. Hashtag Jimmy G. You can win. I've selected 5 different books. And just hashtag Jimmy G, and you'll be entered to win. 5 different back issues. It's an eclectic array, I should say. And we got 2 people in there already. We'll do that at the end. Hey, David. David just got here. Fanboy Prime again. Congrats to Mrs. Fanboy Prime for passing her insurance exam. I'll be there soon doing that exam. Neil, you know what? That's what makes the sing-along so special. I wish. Let's see if this works. It's not gonna be good. I need a haircut, by the way. I look like I mow grass for a living. I don't know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know. Hey, honey.
Yeah.
If we were to do a sing-along every Saturday morning, would you chime in?
No.
Okay. She said no. I don't know if you could hear that over my wife using the sink. Kenneth just came in. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? And Kenneth, yes, these are physical copies. One thing I should say, and I forgot to say this last time, if you're in Canada, I'm going to give you the option of just getting a digital gift card because shipping to Canada, I should say, is a little nuts. I'm not against it, but damn. Zach just got here. Zach has a package I think was delivered already. I could be wrong. I think I saw the message, but was in kind of a social media haze. So anyway, I'll show you. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I did have a pickup, but I didn't open it yet. It's in an envelope from eBay, and I didn't bring it up with me. So we're going to skip that portion of the show. You don't have to be on camera. I just your voice. Yeah, no, she understands that. She just still doesn't want to do it. And supposedly, I don't think I've actually ever heard my wife sing now that I think about it, but she went to a bachelorette party not too far after we were married for one of our very good friends, and they did a little karaoke, and supposedly she did a great job. I don't know. I think she got like a high score. It didn't sound like a normal karaoke, like at a bar or something. It kind of reminded me from what she described, I remember, as kind of something you saw like in Lost in Translation. Remember they had like a private suite, and there was like a scoreboard or something. But that's her story to tell. If she wants to come on, she could do that and talk about that. Why don't I just start by showing you what I read this week. I do have a topic for this week too that just kind of hit me this morning. So I had a light reading week because it's been a very busy week. All of these comics that I read this week, they're all from Image, and I actually got these from Reggie Collects, who sent these. These are things he got from Skybound. Some of them are not in the best shape. Skybound sometimes sends him books to read, and he distributes them back into the community. And in most of these cases, that's what I will probably wind up doing. So none of these. I should say 2 of these I know aren't current. They're from March. The other one is about a month old. But the first one I read was No/1, or No One, if you want. Written by Kyle Higgins, whose name I recognize, and Brian Bucalato. I don't know. Artist Geraldo Borges, who I'm not familiar with. Um, if you are unfamiliar with this, it is more of like a murder mystery. This is not a superhero story by any means. Art is good. It kind of reminds me of a less cartoony Bagley, and I'll show you an example what I'm saying here. So here's like one example of one panel, and like I said, the face reminds me a little bit of Bagley, but again, it's not as cartoony. Okay, back. I don't know who Okay back is. Sorry, Trev. By the way, I should say I did add mods this week. So if any of the mods are on here, want to plug anybody's link or anything, like Jimmy G, for example, Jimmy G's channel link, by the way, go ahead and do so, please. Feel free to do so. So back to No One. I like a good murder mystery. I don't know why I could not really get into this one. I felt like they kind of dropped you right into the middle of it, which I could appreciate because you're discovering the backstory as you're going through it. But it did have that feeling kind of like you walked into a movie and maybe you were like 5 minutes late. You know, there's that scene, there's that feeling of, okay, I have to play catch up. Again, the art is pretty good. It's a little cartoony. I'm trying to look at pages that I can show you that are not going to spoil anything. I don't know if this is meant to be a limited series. I think with a mystery, it kind of has to be. But I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it. It's technically very well done, laid out well. Here's a... I was going to show you another example art-wise, but it's nothing to kind of show off, I guess. But just to give you, I guess, a flavor. Like, it sounds like a good mystery. For some reason, though, I just didn't care about the main characters involved, at least not in the first issue. And I think in any kind of story, whether it be a comic, whether it be a novel, whether it be a film, you need to care about the characters. Wellbore, how are you? Wellbore also has a package on its way to him up in Canada, so I sent that earlier this week. You should probably be getting it in a month or so. I know international shipping is something else. Yeah, so that's No One. Again, I wouldn't have purchased this. It was sent to me for free. Just to recap, it was good but not great in my opinion. I really don't have a desire to continue with the story. Maybe if I have the opportunity to do so free again, or it's, I don't know, if it's digital at some point, I might read that. Old Wolf, how are you, sir? Welcome. Kind of curious. I'm wondering if this is already kind of panned or planned as something else, like a podcast or a show. And I only say that because I noticed in the back of this, and I'll go back and take a look now at the character design. This kind of caught my eye just now. They list Rachel Lee Cook and Patton Oswalt as producers, and then they list them as cast. So let's see, Rachel Lee Cook as Julia and Patton Oswalt as Teddy. Let me go back because I don't know who Julia and Teddy are, to be perfectly honest with you. Kenneth, now I know what you look like. Awesome. Okay. Flipping through quickly. I mean, I guess Julia kind of looks like Rachel Lee Cook. Maybe I don't really know who Rachel Lee Cook is. I know I've seen her in my... Hey, honey. Yeah. That one that you like, that movie, was that She's All That? Is that Rachel Lee Cook? No, that's Amanda Burns. No. What's the one where the girl transforms from a nerdy-looking girl to a attractive-looking girl? Jennifer Garner? No, not 13 going on 30. The film. What? There's a film that you like. All right, who's Rachel Lee Cook? Maybe that might be it. Do you know, offhand? I don't know if I know what Rachel Lee Cook looks like. I feel like there's a movie that my wife has made me watch that she's in, but if she is who I'm looking at, yeah, I don't know. And Patton Oswalt, I'm guessing. Okay, this other character, Teddy, does not look like Patton Oswalt to me. So, yeah, here's Patton Oswalt characters and Rachel Lee Cook's characters. I know I said Rachel Lee Dreyfuss. It is She's All That? Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But, yeah, so I don't know that I would continue. If I find it for free, maybe. Or at a discount. So let's see. Anybody else in the chat? David is here. Hey, David. How are you? Out in Arizona. I hope you're staying cool, man. Yeah, that's what my feeling is, too. The Rachel Lee Cook one, a little bit. Definitely not the Patton Oswalt one. So let's see. What else? This one I really liked. Void Rivals. Kirkman, and I know I'm late to the... She's the Man. There you go. I knew we would sort it out. Honey, She's the Man.
Rachel Lee Cook.
It's not Rachel Lee Cook?
Amanda Bynes.
I thought She's All That as Amanda Bynes.
No.
I got to fact check on that one, honey.
Look it up. That's not. No, that's not Rachel Lee Cook.
All right, we have to try to solve this one. By the way, again, if you just joined us, hashtag Jimmy G to be entered in our giveaway. Wouldn't it be funny if Jimmy G ran the giveaway with his own name? Let's see. Rachel Lee Cook, American actress. Yeah, it kind of sort of looks like her. And, honey, Rachel Lee Cook, She's All That.
Okay.
So, yeah. And Josie and the Pussycats, which, by the way, I saw on HBO a couple years ago. Didn't mind it. I may have, back in the day using LimeWire, download a couple songs from that movie. Just saying. So let's see here. Zach, it looks like someone tried to describe Patton Oswalt to someone over the phone. Yeah, and I think the person who was describing what Patton Oswalt looks like is blind. Classic hot girl in nerd clothes movie teaches us to take off the clothes, and the girl, yeah, I never thought about that. And it just shows that removing glasses turns people into models, and I think sometimes adding glasses, This is true, David. This is true. Yeah. So Void Rivals. Had no idea what this was about. Again, this was a freebie I got from Reggie, and I really enjoyed this. I was surprised to see it is a reunion, I guess you could say, of Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felice. I read Oblivion Song, the entire series, and I came to really like Lorenzo's work. It definitely has a different feel to it here. So I know I'm probably the last person on all of YouTube. Sorry, I have to interrupt myself. Everyone looks like models when I take off my glasses. There you go. I like that one. Got to mute you when you talk about word. Okay, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. Basically, you have these two warring races who have, members, I should say, these warring races who have crash landed on this remote planet and basically kind of figure out that they can't kill each other. They have to help each other out. There is a surprise in here that, again, I think everybody has seen. There's two surprises. One was a surprise I didn't expect to see, which does kind of feel forced. And if you've read it, then you know what I'm talking about. And that is the reason I'm kind of hesitant to add this book to my polls, even though I enjoyed it, because I don't want... I'm at the point I'm trying to focus my collection now. And I know I sound like a broken record. I've said this every week. I don't want to have to buy into a new empire, so to speak, a new franchise, and get sucked into getting 2 or 3 books to get a full story. I did ask my LCS, I know that the second issue just came out this week. I did ask my LCS to save me a copy of the second issue, just because I am curious. but I'm uncertain whether this is going to be, a one and done read for me, or a ongoing thing. And this is a variant by, I think it's is it Maria Wolf? I know it's Wolf. Yeah, that rabbit hole will be deep. That's what I'm trying to avoid, fanboy. We have a lot of changes going around, which you're going to hear about probably the next 60 days or so. But yeah, evil, evil. I'm glad you're here. I just talked about No One, and I figured you might. I don't know if you've read that one. I feel like it's something that you may have mentioned before. Let's see here. Yeah, and I like. I was starting to talk about. I think it's Maria Wolf. I've gotten a couple of Wolf's covers. I really enjoy their Wolf's artwork here. And again, I think it's Maria. That's why I said Bear. Might be a guy's name. Let's see, honey. What do you think of this cover?
Too much going on.
I disagree. She said that she thought it was too much going on, and I have in the massive. Yeah, see, if it's going to be massive, it's going to be a no go for me. But I'll check out the second issue. This last one I just read last night. I really enjoyed it. Same type of thing though. I don't know if I'm willing to go all in or not. This one I might just wait for a trade paperback. And I know this one is a little bit older now. I think there's like 5 issues out now. Indigo Children #1. Again, I got this for free. It is a beat up copy. So these are things that may very well end up in the prize box. I haven't decided yet. I really like how it's unfolding. Let me see the creative team here first. I'm not familiar with any of the talent on this. Kurt Pyers and Rockwell White story, don't know them. Kurt Pyers script, don't know. Well, he's from the first one. Alex Diodo, I don't know, but I like his artwork. It kind of reminds me of the David, I can never say his name right, Aja, his Hawkeye run. Very kind of simple, understated style, a little bit stylistic, kind of cartoony. Oh, Bigby's here? Let me see. Hold on a second. Yeah, Bigby McFly. I got to say, Bigby was on Between the Lines this past week. If you missed that, watch the replay. It was a great episode. A really fun drawing topic. I put mine up on my IG. I probably should put them up on the community page too. I'll get to that later on if I remember. But the week before, he did a Swamp Thing drawing that was just amazing, and I loved it so much. Bigby, thanks for joining us here. You'd have to read all the Massive Universe. They made it. If that's the case, then maybe, I'm not 100% sold, because I'll be honest with you, I went through Oblivion Song, but there was at least an area in the middle where I was like, maybe I need to drop this. Yeah, because it did have its kind of downswing in it, as many titles do. But yeah, getting back to Indigo Children. I love this kind of understated style. The only thing that kind of gives me pause, it's got a good pace to it. Why don't we say that? But there are several pages where there's no words. Now that's a good indication, usually in my book, of a well done comic, because if you're able to tell stories without words, that's great. I think there are people, like I'll say this, Brian Michael Bendis on the ending point of his Ultimate Spider-Man run got kind of like that, where it's like, oh, here's another 4 pages without words. It's easy to go through. The artist's art, though, I think is interesting enough where you can at least use that as an opportunity. And the pages I show you are spoiler free. To really kind of absorb some of the great work in this. So this was my favorite read out of the 3, and I really, really enjoyed it. I might look into this one. If my LCS has the prior installments, maybe it's something I might go back and check into. It kind of, the beginning of it at least, it kind of reminds me of, what was the Jeff Lemire
Andrea Sorrentino story. And that's another one I read from the beginning to the end. Okay, it escapes me. But if you know what I'm talking about, it's more of a horror title. Kind of reminds me of how that started. That was a whole nother cat, though. Jimmy, I hope that we're getting you some subs. It looks like you see some things going on here. You got some activity, so that's good. Bloom Universe. I don't know the Bloom Universe. Void Rivals Verse. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's naming our favorite universes. Okay. Trev, I'm not going to highlight you because that could be a little bit of a spoiler. Hi, Marvin. How are you? If you're just joining us again, hashtag Jimmy G to be entered in our giveaway of 5 random comics. And I usually throw in some extras to be perfectly fair. So why don't I talk about briefly, and I'm glad that a couple people at Fanboy Prime, especially Trev, Evil popped in because these are guys I know who have commented on stuff in the past. I figure everybody's talking about movies. Not are you enjoying the movies, are you enjoying the series and whatnot, but the experience of going to the movies versus streaming. Big B, 1,000%. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to highlight you. I want to see that because that sounds interesting. I got news for you. Honey, we could watch this later. Madam went to go see Barbie. She did a review. I think she gave it a 5 out of 10.
What?
Yeah. We have to. We would have to see it. So yeah, I mean, just in case this might be your first time seeing this face, in case you don't know, so the last movie I think we saw in theaters, was it Endgame, honey?
Yeah, that was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Endgame. I think we had talked about going to see Birds of Prey, and we both decided not to, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I thought you liked it. I'm surprised.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than what I expected it to be, but it wasn't great.
That's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, so we haven't been to the movie since Endgame, and for some of you, that's probably ancient. Yeah, Evil. Let us know how it is. I want your take. I want an evil film review. Oh, David, you're 2 away from 500. Hey, if you're not subscribed to David, let's get him to 500. He's only 2 more subs away. Yeah, so, once COVID hit, our theaters. Oh, I'm going to highlight you in a second, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. Yeah, our theaters around here closed. We were streaming like everybody else, and just doing things like watching more YouTube. Since a lot of the restrictions have released, we've had a lot change here. We're a 1-income household. That's one. So our entertainment budget, is more limited than it was. We have a child. That's a big thing. And we try to keep them safe. I'm not getting political at all, and don't take it there if, in case that's your inclination, as many do. I still wear a mask when I go to the stores. I was at the grocery store this morning wearing a mask. I don't care if I'm the only one there doing it. Usually not, but there we go. I have also kind of learned to, because we do stream on several services. Some of them we pay for, some of them are just wrapped in for free with our cell phone service and whatnot. But yeah, I don't really miss going to the movies, so to speak.
I kind of do. It's a different experience, though.
In case you can't hear my wife, she said she kind of does. It's a different experience. Big B, by the way, is 18 away from 1,000, so make sure you sub him up too. Trevor, or any of the mods, if you wouldn't mind, please put Big B's link in the channel, and also with Jimmy G as well too. I know that, and David too. So put everybody's link. Okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah, please put that link in for Jimmy G too. Bobby would sub you up apparently here. That's good. And to be honest with you, I mean, waiting it out and seeing some of these movies when they stream, I could say if there were 10 movies that we were anticipating on seeing and we watched them all streaming, I think there were maybe 2 or 3 that we outright enjoyed.
You enjoy going to movies. Remember date nights we used to have?
Yeah, no, I did enjoy going to the movies. I liked the experience of going out, going to the theater and whatnot. But it's a different world now,
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Look, if you have a decent Blu-ray player, yeah, that's right. I said a Blu-ray player. I don't even know if they still make them. And access to, either a Blu-ray collection or, we stopped using Redbox as well. But, if you have a decent Redbox around, it's my opinion that the picture quality you can get, even if you have a decent TV, like my TV is over 10 years old, and I still get a great picture quality from it.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, knock on wood. We put what was it? Infinity War in the Blu-ray player, and I feel like it looked better than it did at the movies that we saw. We went to an AMC,
You're also closer.
Well, you're closer. Yeah, there's another reason. You could be more comfortable. I could lay down and just enjoy it. And in some of the movies,
There's loungers there.
yeah, but I can fall asleep at home and not feel bad. Whereas if you go out, you spend the money, you fall asleep because it's a bad movie.
That's true.
Yeah. And look, I'll say this. Maybe up until recently, even if perfectly well rested, I will fall asleep in a bad movie. Here, I will fall asleep more often.
But you didn't fall asleep if you enjoyed the movie. You fell asleep in Superman versus Batman.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Superman, Batman, I fell asleep. I think that was.
That was the only one, I think. You didn't fall asleep in the other ones.
Yeah, and that's about right. Yeah, I felt like watching Infinity War here. I had a superior experience. And now, too, look, I mean, before COVID hit, I'm even saying 10 or so years ago. See, Guardians, the first Guardians came out in 2014. I remember going to an AMC that had a one of those, where you can order and they bring you food. I brought my youngest brother and one of his friends. And, we each ordered entree. They're very young. They were in their teens at the time. And, one entree, one drink, it wound up being like $200. And I'm not talking about any entree. I'm talking about just like a quesadilla. And I even joked that because my youngest brother had never had a quesadilla. I was like, you got to have one. Go ahead, try it. But let me look in the comments here. So I'm catching up first. Scroll. You guys talked a lot today. That's good. Fanboy, I keep leaving out this point in my movie discussion, but the post-movie conversations are one of my favorite reasons for the theatrical experience. Yeah, I used to be there too, and it's a little bit different now because part of streaming is that I have to avoid spoilers, and I'm usually pretty good at that. I'll be honest with you. I went through No Way Home without spoilers. Comic Tom spoiled both. I think it was. I forgot. I want to say Thor. No, Ant-Man and not Flash. Another movie that came out right around the same time, like in the same episode, and it came out like the week after, and that's kind of why I stopped watching Comic Tom. But that's just me. Neil enjoyed Birds of Prey. That's okay. To each their own. You go 5 times a month, okay. Movies, okay. Cost $11 for 2 people. Cost $11 for 2 people with no snacks. Money is not an issue. Okay. I don't know. Less expensive than it was around here at some point then. Trying to think. And to be honest with you, we kind of got to the point where we were trying to sneak stuff in, but that's another discussion. Okay. Yeah, Mario, I'm looking forward to seeing. Flash, I'll see when it comes on here. Dungeons and Dragons really didn't something I planned on seeing. If it's on one day, maybe I'll watch it. Guardians, I'm looking forward to seeing. Let's see. David's link is there. Jimmy's link is there. Okay. Shudder is quickly becoming my go-to for streaming weird movies. I'm not familiar with Shudder. We're kind of light on watching horror movies here. That's a discussion. No, it's some sort of streaming service or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't really watch too many horror movies here. If we do, it's during the day. That's a whole nother discussion that we may or may not have here. I think the last horror movie we attempted to watch, we tried to watch the second It movie, and we just weren't liking it. I know I wasn't liking it.
No, we watched the, that's older, but remember that house? Yeah. Forgot the name of it.
I'm sorry, I just said the last one that we watched.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Jimmy's making his way up. I think I missed. Yeah, again, hashtag Jimmy G to be entered in our giveaway. Bobby likes spoilers. Okay, that's fine. If there were no other people in the theater, it would be much better. Yeah, and I was thinking about telling the story during Fanboys streaming this morning. So way back in 2001, 2002, I had newly graduated from college. There was almost an entire year where I did not have a job, so I had a lot of free time on my hands. During that time, the first Spider-Man film came out. I decided I'm going to go to one of the early showings on a Friday afternoon. Nobody else will be there. School's still in session. I'm talking like a 11:30 showing. So I went to the local AMC in my hometown. And one thing I didn't think about, there were two kinds of people I generally avoid who attended the show. And it wasn't a full packed house. The first was soccer moms with their young kids who were not prepared to go to the movies because there was a lot of screaming and yelling. And the second, and this might be why I personally don't care for cosplayers in general. There are exceptions. Madam is a friend of the channel. I'll say that, but in general, cosplay is not for me. While in the theater, there was a guy who sat, I'm going to say 2 rows down. I kid you not, came to the show, and he had to be older than me, and in worse shape than I am now. Full-blown Spidey costume. And that drew my attention away for a lot of the movie. And when I say full-blown Spidey costume, I'm talking the mask, everything. But here's the thing that really distracted me. He did not remove the mask during the movie. Instead, he pulled it up to just enjoy his soda and popcorn. To each their own, but it was distracting enough for me where I was like, I missed half the movie. I've seen it several times since, of course, but I don't know, that's just my thing. And look, if you're going to wear spandex, I'm not judging. You do what you want to do. I think, make sure you're physically prepared for it. I don't know. It left very little to the imagination, especially when you have young kids running around and screaming nearby. David, I'm sorry, I did read David's. Okay. That's one of the biggest prices you pay for not seeing a movie, avoiding spoilers. How much time do you waste avoiding spoilers? Not many. It's not as hard as you really think. A lot of channels are good about either saying, hey, there's spoilers in this, or, hey, I'm going to talk about something. So spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, mute your volume. It's really not difficult. Like in the case of Comic Tom, they were both kind of stealth, and they were like in sentences. Yeah, and I've heard that D&D was surprisingly good. I don't know. I watched the cartoon as a kid. I've never, I was going to say I've never played. I take that back. I think I tried to play once in like 6th grade, and it just wasn't for me. I haven't had people ruin a movie experience for me in like 15 years. Been a while. I think it depends where you are too. And look, sometimes people could make a movie better. I had a bootleg growing up of, if you remember, a Van Damme movie called The Quest. Not a very good movie. I think my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, you might like this because it's, it kind of it's kind of like, let's say it was Street Fighter, but not Street Fighter. And the crowd that was watching this, I suspect that they filmed this and they shot this bootleg in New York City, because the crowd in here had to be the most intolerant and just trying to think of the right word. Crowd ever. There was a character in it. There was a sumo character in the movie, and every time he was on the screen, he would step. They would do like a shaking effect, and you just hear the crowd laughing. And then I say it's going to be New York City because there's a scene towards the end, and I'm not giving anything away, where one of the American character is telling Van Damme's character, who's a French mime, he's trying to hype him up for the fight. He goes, "Hey, New York City," and for that point in the bootleg, the crowd was on their feet like they would have, like it was 1978 and they were watching Rocky in the theater. But yeah, sometimes people make it better. Oh, Manny's here. Hey, Manny. I don't know if I said hello to you anymore. I wanted to see that. Still do Big B. I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, I do want to see the new Indiana Jones, even though reviews have been because I think like Walt. I follow Walt and Louis Simonson on Facebook in one of their groups, and yeah, they were going in with low expectations. They both enjoyed it. I tried to watch the Crystal Skull again on Disney Plus, not realizing my wife hadn't watched it. It was one night she went to bed early, then she came out and was like, "I haven't seen this yet." All right, we have to watch that together. And I know the Crystal Skull was not good at all.
Which one?
The one that you didn't see, that's not the new one. The Kingdom of the Crystal
yeah.
Skull, yeah. I mean, Trev, let's be fair. There's a lot that's better than Crystal Skull, at least in my opinion. Daredevil, hey. Again, hashtag Jimmy G. I'm going to run that shortly. Just catching up on the chat. Saw day one left. Good to hear. The Spider-Man, I don't know if he had loved ones. I'm not trying to hate, but I don't know. Phil would love the Fiesta Spider-Man. It sounds festive. Do you have to be here for the giveaway, yes or no? No, but you do have to message me your address either way, even if I might have it. Yep, the quest. I know, it wasn't anything about Van Damme. I have heard some. I remember reading a retrospective of if you played the Street Fighter movie arcade game, where they said he would be the last one to record his stunts for the game, and the only way they got him to do it was one of the female programmers had to like, "Oh, can you show me how to do that, kid?" And he obliged. You do have to enter the hashtag, yes. Last movie or so was Mortal Kombat. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, in the quality of movies that have gone to streaming, I don't know if I said this. Yeah, I did say this. Has not been great. I liked Mortal Kombat, but at the same time, I'm glad that we didn't see it in the theater. I thought it was okay, bordering on good, but not great. I will watch the sequel if it ever comes out. Mortal Kombat 1 was still great. That second one, though, was unspeakably terrible. That's funny. Best movie theater time was 2017, 45th re-release of Godfather. Me and the other two people in the theater. Zach, that might be an exception too. That I was doing a little bit of some of the AMC exclusive screenings before I met my wife and was single. I did go to movies alone a couple times, and once during the week, they had. I think it was right before, or it might have been tied into when Django came out. They had a Tarantino retrospective, so you saw Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction in the theaters, and those are two of my favorite films, and I was happy because I had never seen them on the big screen. I remember going to that, and then a couple years later, some select AMCs, that was after we started dating, was showing Hateful Eight, I think in 32 millimeter, but you could only go to certain theaters. We wound up going to a theater about 45 minutes away with a friend of mine to watch that. And that was, it wasn't Tarantino's best work. I think it would have been a better play. All I remember is, it's called Shut the Door, Shut the Door. MT, shut the door. My wife didn't care for it. It sucks outside. It does. Let me know if I am a winner and give away and congratulations. Yeah, Kenneth, I'll message you, or you can watch the replay. If you take, nah. beat dance ever. I don't know. Best movie experience was Phantom Menace, Endgame, Batman Begins, Mask of Phantasm. I don't remember seeing. I don't remember the experience of going to see Phantom Menace. I did see it, I think, twice in the theater. Endgame, yeah, we had a good experience. Batman Begins and Mask of the Phantasm, I remember the theaters being almost empty for that. And I just remember Batman Begins. I took one of my brothers to see it. He was about 14 at the time, and he didn't quite grasp it. He was waiting for a big action Batman and didn't get that. Night of the Living Dead. So glad I got a theatrical view. Okay. I haven't seen the extended version. I didn't like Aquaman at all, and that's one of the ones we watched at home too. My wife liked it, and I was just kind of like, it's Aquaman. For my money, Vinny Chase is still the best Aquaman. I'm just saying.
Aquaman.
What?
Aquaman?
Yeah, Vinny Chase is the best Aquaman, honey. She doesn't know. She watched one episode. No, she watched part of the Entourage film with me, which isn't really a good one. Best was Return of the Jedi when Vader threw Palpatine's out. Yeah. I didn't see that in the theater. I was a little young at that point. When Yoda pulled out I see, after Phantom Menace, I skipped the next two prequels. I watched them, I think, on TBS one day, years later. I didn't care for Attack of the Clones. The very last one, I don't remember the name, was good but not great, in my opinion. And even the new sequels, we didn't watch in a theater. We waited for them, right? We didn't watch the last three Star Wars. We watched at home, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the first one that was okay, not great. The other two, to be honest, I don't even remember. Yeah, and that was, to be honest with you, that was one of my favorite scenes in that movie. And that Wonder Woman music was so great. Okay, so let's see. Agree, I was there for Return of the Jedi. Okay, so in case you do not know, I will be back on the YouTube machine at 2:30 p.m. Eastern today. I am a guest on Only Slabs. Sorry, fanboys. Hey, Big Lion. Fanboys comment just distracted me. I could kind of see that happening. Yeah, so I will be on Only Slabs this afternoon. So check out Rob Fat Stacks. Yeah, I think I'm prepared. I got a good list, and I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I think if you've seen my channel before, you know most of what I'm going to show. I'm not the kind of person who has, I think, some outrageously rare stuff. I have some good stuff, but I tried to attach a personal story to everything. So hopefully that pays off. Yeah, a little nervous about it, but I think we should be okay. We got childcare lined up, so if my wife needs some help, she's thing. Dude, okay. To be honest with you, I mean, look, I remember seeing the commercials for Pootie Tang. Like, yeah, I can't picture seeing that. Sometimes, though, like I said, a crowd makes a bad movie better. I could tell you, the second Major League, the crowd was great. Okay, I saw Footloose. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do our giveaway. Let's see how many people are in. My computer went to sleep, so I might not know. It still says 6 entries, which I don't think is correct. Oh, hold on a second. Don't tell me I lost that. Okay, for some reason, come on. Okay, so this is strange. So StreamYard took the entries from 6 to 3. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Go ahead and do hashtag Jimmy G again, even if you've done it already, because I don't know. StreamYard does not want you to win. So I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to say 3 minutes to do that. Okay. In the meantime, I'll tell you, there are movies that have been released I'm looking forward to. Guardians. The chat can push out.
You mentioned that already.
Yeah, no, Guardians. Said my worst experience: 30 Days of Night. Who did that? Somebody brought a fight. Yeah, I used to really hate that, and again, having a kid, I'm going to tell you right now, we would not be that crowd bringing an infant or even anybody, infant to the movies, period, no matter what the movie was, because nobody's experiencing that. Look, and we've come to realize that our son, he's 17 months old. He's not going to remember anything of what's going on right now. It's really kind of our time to yeah, you used to do this and that. So taking an infant to a theater is a waste, in my opinion, or age inappropriate. Why don't we say? Okay, 2 more minutes again. And I do see the entries are building back up again. Hashtag Jimmy G. And I'll do that drawing in a bit. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing, though, Super Mario. I don't know where that's going to come streaming. I know that, and I'm talking about included. I'm not talking about rental. Flash, of course, we'll watch at some point. We haven't even watched Shazam yet, to be honest with you, which I'd like to rectify, but it's been busy. I don't know what to tell you. One other thing I should talk about too is the Marvels trailer dropped yesterday. Kind of curious what your feelings are. I will tell you mine. I like those characters. I'm looking forward to watching it. This trailer was F for me. 2 reasons. It kind of spoiled that Nick Fury is surviving Secret Invasion, which I've been enjoying. Unless they say it takes place before it, I guess. Yeah, Daredevil. I haven't seen Flash yet, but again, we'll watch it when it comes to Max, which might be sooner than later, unfortunately. Yeah, I remember seeing the second Matrix in theaters and being utterly. That was way before we met, but that was, I think, the first movie I fell asleep in because it was just so terrible. I remember the truck scene, and even that was a little like. Oh, good. So David has hit 500. See, my little guy was clapping. I remembered after I did that he claps when we clap. And Blue Beetle, I know, hasn't come out yet. I think that's going to make it to Max pretty quickly, unfortunately. My wife is looking forward to that one more than I am, but I'm interested. But let's see. We are now at 12 entries. So let's go ahead and give her give it the draw here. So it is going. Yeah, Zach, to be honest, I didn't even watch the third one after the second one. And I remember, by the way, the new Matrix that they introduced at the beginning of the pandemic was terrible. That was one of the ones I was glad I didn't see in the theater. And congratulations to our winner, Daredevil NYC. Daredevil, go ahead, and I'm assuming that you're close to me because I'm in Jersey. Go ahead on Instagram and message me your details so I know where to send your stuff. And I will show you the 5 books I've picked, and if I have more room in the mailer, I certainly will include more. It's a little bit of a smattering, I guess you could say, today. Couple modern, 1 or 2 older modern, maybe. So here we go. Catwoman number 40. This is from the New 52. Excuse me. Admittingly, Jay Lee's cover art was better than the story, if I recall. And this is actually one of the covers I did really enjoy. So we'll take a look at that. Let's see if it passes the wife test. Hey, what do you think of this cover?
It's all right.
She just said all right. Is it offensive to you in any way? Okay, so not offensive. She just didn't care for it. Alpha Flight number 26. It's an older book here. Love me some Alpha Flight. They're going to have a Full of X series soon. If you are a fan of, I think it's Billy Tucci, you might know this one. This is She number 1, the Fan Appreciation Edition. I have a pretty good, yes, I do live in New Jersey, Big Line. I have a pretty good run of She. I have to see it. I might have a full run. I'm not quite sure on that. Have you gone to King Kong? Oh, I think I went to the very first one. I think that was like 2007 or 8, but I have not been back since. Yeah, Billy T. There you go, fanboy. Here's a more modern day one. You guys might know that I am trying to do complete runs on What If. It's not something I actively do. It's just something. Oh, do you have any What If? Let me take a look. So this is from, I think the second volume, second or third volume. What If number 54? What if Death's Head 1 had lived? It's got some classic 90s Death's Head Marvel UK stuff in there. And last but not least, this is probably the oldest one in here. I'm not sure what your taste is. Well, Daredevil, I'm assuming I know what your taste is. The New Adventures of Superboy number 1. Happy 16th birthday to Superboy. So you got a nice random smattering here. And, like I said, if I could fit more into the mailer, I will certainly throw in some more. So Daredevil NYC, please message me on IG with your information. With that, I'm just about done. So hopefully you guys tune in later today to see me on Only Slabs, again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Look up Rob Fat Stacks channel if you're unfamiliar. Let's see. And Fanboy, get me whatever diamond DCs you're hunting down, because I do know I have a couple in the giveaway bin. So if you need those, I'd like to earmark those for you just in case. But thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time on this weekend. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week. I'll leave you like I always do. Peace, love, and comics. Later.